Hi, I'm Anna, a first-year undergraduate studying economics and management. What's really lovely about the E&M course at Oxford is that you have access to kind of three homes. You have your college where you meet all of the people on your course in Freshers Week and people from other courses, and it's kind of like a home base that you can always go back to and often you live there. But then you also have the business school where you meet the rest of your cohort for E&M and you can hang out, play table tennis in summer, which sadly we haven't been able to do because of COVID, and just enjoy being part of the business school. We're the only undergraduate course in Oxford that has access to the business school, and the Sainsbury's Library is one of the best libraries in Oxford. It was recommended to me in Freshers Week as one of the best, and it's really nice because they have a quiet space where you can study on top, which is particularly good if you're rushing to make a deadline or just want to focus for a few hours. And then there's also on the bottom floor an area where you can just chill with friends and talk and do more collaborative work. The course itself, in your first year you kind of study three main topics. So there's economics, finance and management, and you study those through the first two terms, and then you prepare for your first year exams during Trinity when the sun is shining and you can make the most of the table tennis at the business school. In second year you get to specialise more and you can choose what you want to do, because you'll find naturally that you kind of gravitate towards something, and second and third year is the chance where you can choose all of your modules from scratch and just go for what you're interested in. So I chose to study economics and management in order to be able to understand the world better, and who private and why public and private and public agents make the decisions and choices that they do. I chose to study at Oxford because obviously the university has an amazing reputation, but you also get the benefit of tutorials where your tutors really push you, and often your college tutors will kind of know you by a few tutorials in and kind of know where to push you and what you don't know, in a fun way that pushes you and expands your learning and really makes you understand the topics in depth. They also really know what they're talking about, so you get the knowledge of all their wealth of knowledge gets transferred to you. You'd like to study it if you don't mind reading and you don't mind maths. So you've got the mathematical part of economics and the essays, and general management is more essay focused, which is really nice because you get quite a nice blend. You can kind of pick and choose and you get a bit bored of one or the other. You also get a more theoretical side of management than other universities, but it's also a really nice mix because you get to economics and management kind of complement each other quite well, and you can kind of blend them together a bit.
Hello, I'm Francis. I'm an E&M from New College, just here to share a few things that I think would be helpful to know before you apply for economics and management at Oxford. You may know that the course is broken down just in first year into three parts: economics, general management and financial management. So that means that economics is only actually going to be a third of your time in first year. Later on you can do like 6 parts economics and 2 parts management, all the other way around. Those are the sort of limits. And a lot of people do it the other way around because they end up really liking management. Economics at university is very different to what you might have done at secondary school. So I really liked at A-level the fact that economics is really discussion driven and there were no wrong answers. You could sort of argue your case. That isn't really the case in first year at least. You're kind of taught these models as if they are very scientific, and you focus on deriving the sort of maths behind them. So if you like calculus, you'll love first year economics. But it's a lot of that, and the scope for your own sort of views is, maybe a sentence at the end of a paragraph in an essay. To get an idea of what you would be doing, I'd recommend the core econ textbook. It's a free textbook. We use it in first year. It's online, and maybe just look at the parts on indifference curves because you're spending a lot of time doing that in first year. To be honest, wherever you're doing economics, you're doing different curves. As for general management, that is the part where you have all these great discussions. It's really discussion based, and you have really enjoyable tutorials where you just sit around and you talk about what's happening in the news, how it relates to, could be how workers are treated at different firms, how different radical sort of ways of structuring a firm or different strategies in different markets. So it's really interesting stuff actually, and that it took up the most of my time in first year because at my college at least we had to do an essay every week for it and a lot of reading. So it took up a lot of time, but those readings more often than not were actually pretty interesting for sort of taste of what it would be like. Before applying, or before arriving at Oxford, I had no idea what management really was. I would recommend reading some classic articles from the Harvard Business Review, because that's something that you will do a little bit of, and those are the sort of most interesting articles you'll read for general management. So that's stuff from like Chandler or Porter, or really anyone that HBR have got like collections, but also you'll probably be able to find some free online just for an idea. If you do get onto the course and you want to get a sort of head start, which you really don't have to, but Paul Willman's Understanding Management, it's a sort of whistle-stop tour of everything you'll do in first year general management. If I'd read that before, you'll be laughing. It really covers a lot of stuff, so you just have a grounding and understand what's going on the whole time. Financial management, that's the last component that you'll do in first year. This is what to me was surprised. I had no idea this existed. It's split into reporting and analysis. So first term, you'll just be doing reporting, which is accounting, basically. Very practical skill. Still don't know much about accounting, but I was very lost at first because it's unlike anything else I'd done. So I'd really recommend, if you're thinking about applying for E&M, definitely if you get in, take the time to look up what financial statements are. They're probably great little introductory guides on YouTube, I'd imagine. I've had to resort to them a few times because, yeah, it's just something completely new, or maybe it won't be to you, but it definitely was to me. The second time you'll be doing analysis, and if you want an idea of what that sort of is, look up this thing called the CAPM model, Capital Asset Pricing Model. Really don't worry if you don't understand it. Amazing if you do, but don't expect to. That's just sort of taste of like the sort of stuff you'd be doing in financial analysis. It's sort of like picking a portfolio and things like that. It's very mathsy. Yeah, so those are the components of the course. The last thing I'll say is that economics management has a reputation for being easy and manageable. If you haven't heard that, you definitely hear it when you arrive. I would say it is difficult. It does take up a lot of time. You will have a lot of work to do, essays to do, but it is manageable, more so than other subjects at Oxbridge. And if there are other things that you want to do, and there are so many opportunities, the business school is great for providing all these opportunities, then you will have time to pursue them, if you're responsible for your work and things. So I would think it's a great course. It's great value. You get a lot of contact time.